How's everybody doing today? I think now we're supposed to say, yay, Hack3rcon. That's not Powerade. I want to tell some stories, weave a tale, provide some supposition and some theorizing I've done on a topic. So just sort of sit back, take a listen, afterward, take it whatever direction you seem to think it should go. Now, organized crime. It's the first word that comes to your mind. You go, most people, the word is mafia. Should be desire. Because all it really is, it all comes down to one thing, desire. Desire for money, power, women, men, whatever it is you want. It's a tool to get to it. So you take that, and that's, metaphorically speaking, all it really is. Vice will always have its place in our society, and there will always be someone there to market it in one fashion or another. Now, if you look, starting way, way back, a Phoenician seaport, one guy decides to pilfer an amphora of wine. The guard notices. He gives the guard some of it, so the guard will look the other way. So you know, the new shipment comes in, he's back with a friend of his. You've got to give more of the wine they've taken to the guard and another guard who's noticed. Next thing you know, there's a whole network of them. Guards looking the other way, 4 or 5 guys. Next thing, half the shipment's gone every other time. People start to get interested. They have to step back, diversify a bit, because otherwise they'll all be killed. Now, you move throughout history with the advent of travel and communications getting much better. All these tiny microcosms of little groups that are their fingers in one pie or another start to organize. They get into one sort of entire town is run by a group. That becomes a city-state until you get to your modern era. Your modern era, now we have instantaneous communication. So groups in New York are now organized and aligned with groups in Chicago, LA, all over the world. But you also have the small aspects, the little things, the people that sort of slip through the cracks. You've got your street corner weed dealers, whatever. Then the internet happened. And now you've got guys, instead of standing in front of a convenience store selling their wares in their pocket, they go onto one of the MUDs that was running in University of Maryland back in the early 90s. And they set up a dead drop. People playing will arrange a time, they'll go, they put their money in a coffee can that was behind the wall, right on the border of the campus and the rest of College Park. 15 minutes later they'd go back, money's gone, their drugs were there. They never knew who they were buying it from, the person selling it never knew who they were selling it to. It added a level of anonymity that allowed it to continue. Let's take it a step further. Now, we've got massive worldwide online gaming networks. PlayStation. One guy just sets out, goes to a friend of his, say in New York City. The guy may live in LA. Find me 5 people that don't know each other. Have them contact me online, this address. Anybody can get a PlayStation Network account. All you need is a PlayStation. You don't need a social security number, you don't need a driver's license, you don't need a valid ID. You can purchase it, you can purchase your monthly subscription with a prepaid debit card. Nobody knows who you are. So you start giving them small tests. Dude, pick this package up from this address, take it to here. Let it expand. The moment one of them has someone else contact you, you drop them. Because you can't have anybody connected to anybody else. You must maintain total anonymity. Utilize the voice chat functions. You can talk to anybody at any time. PlayStation Network, they have many games, family game nights. Xbox Live's got the same thing. People throw on a headset, they communicate with sometimes their neighbors and their friends next door, other times perfect strangers all the way across the world. It's a total buffer zone. Even in a group game where you've got people that you don't know and you're talking to one person you do, and nobody seems to care what you say because it doesn't affect them. So imagine now you have this pyramid network in a few cities, people running your errands for you. Everything is coordinated through a service that's not monitored. It's not logged. There's no way to pull those voice chats and go through and analyze them right now. Nobody's got the storage space to record all of that. Why would they? Why would they want to spend the money? Why would they want to increase the costs to you who buy their service? It's completely safe, completely anonymous. So go and sell, sell, sell. Make your money, take your product, expand, go. It's dangerous, but it takes the danger out of it. Things like this are happening now. I was at a party and there was a guy in the corner playing Red Baron. And I listened to one half of the conversation. He was setting up a deal for a quarter pound of marijuana. Now he was in Gaithersburg. The guy he was going to was in Rockville. They didn't want to pick up the phone. His phone lines can be monitored, phone lines are tapped. Nobody's listening, as I said, nobody's listening, except the other people in the game. Why do they care? It's not them, not their business. And even if they did care, who are they going to tell? They don't know who these people are. You can't pick up your phone and report a crime that's in progress if you don't know who's doing it or where it's done. And it's really quite disturbing if you think about it. I mean, change your accounts often. You still know who you need to talk to. They've got their old account. You log in with a new account. This is where you can reach me now. Just like in the early 90s, the crack dealers changed their pagers every 6 months at most, because they didn't want to get trapped in a specific pattern. They didn't want numbers that were known for too long. It drove the NYPD crazy. The moment they get a line on somebody that was moving weight, they would just up and disappear. But they were still out, they were still doing business. Now, you talk about the financial aspects of this. That's where online gaming also comes in. See, log into eBay, do a search for World of Warcraft. You got people selling +8 Vorpal swords and characters all the way from 5th level, 30th level, whatever. Because people have the money and they want to buy it. Some are rich executives who want to play the game, but they don't have the time to build up a character. Some other kid, college, needs money, got all the free time, he'll build up a character, he'll sell it. Do the same with that. But instead of selling a character for what it would be worth, you take, say, a second level rogue. Someone buys it from you for $5,000. Now, that money goes through PayPal, or which you can set up yet again with a prepaid debit card. You can have money from PayPal deposited into a lot of these new prepaid debit cards. They work like bank accounts. They're not linked to social security numbers, they're not linked to driver's licenses. People are starting to use those to get around child support. But now what you have is you have a perfectly legitimate sale and transport between two people that don't know each other. And that money's clean. You can declare it on your taxes, and you should. Because the IRS doesn't care that you spent $5,000 for a level 1 character. All they care about is that that income is reported. And they get their cut. Now, why should we be concerned about this? Well, first off, the privacy implications, which I'll get to in a minute. I'll tell you a little story. We all work hard, want to buy a house, finally get all your testing done, everything is taken care of. So you decide to take a nice long vacation, go away for a month. You're having a great time. You come home and you find you don't own your house anymore. Your house is gone. It's been seized by the DEA. Some random tweaker broke in your basement window and set up a meth lab in your kitchen. Asset forfeiture laws are being applied every day in situations like this. Doesn't matter that you had no knowledge. Doesn't matter whether you're culpable or not. In fact, the best thing that could happen is for them to charge you with it and be found not guilty, because that's about the only shot you're going to get at getting the property back. All they need to do is provide justifiable evidence that the property in question was used illicitly. Doesn't matter who does it. Doesn't matter why it was done. Could you imagine You come home from vacation, your house is gone. That is an unchecked power that the federal government has that is terrifying to me. And it should be terrifying to all of you. The implications are staggering. Now you apply this to what I'm talking about utilizing the gaming networks. If they can prove that somebody did a drug deal, every single server that data goes through could be seized. Imagine what that would do to the cost of setting up a gaming network. What would it do to what's required to participate? The only way that the gaming companies could manage this would be to act in full cooperation with the federal government. Log every single voice chat, send it to the NSA for analysis, send it to the FBI. The storage space alone is staggering for that much voice data. It's going to be soon enough. They're going to start pushing laws for all these conversations to be recorded. They already are trying to compel the phone companies to send your location data. They want to track you. They want to know what's going on, because knowledge is power. No one could afford to play if they were forced to input these measures. It would be ridiculous. It's a hobby, pastime enjoyed by millions. And would they even need a warrant? Even if the companies didn't want to give it to them, even if they weren't trying to protect themselves by freely turning it over, is that protected speech? Is that a right to privacy issue? You're on basically what amounts to a public forum. Like everything we say in here, if someone's recording it, you could refuse to turn it over. But on what grounds? It's not proprietary. There's no idealism behind it that says anything other than what we believe is. We have a right to be free. We have a right to our own privacy. But companies don't see that. All they see is the dollar sign and the trouble. Well, apparently I've gone through this far faster than I expected to, but in conclusion, the amount of people utilizing these networks right now for illicit purposes are very, very tiny. It's mostly nickel and dime, high school kid stuff. But if you look at the overall reaches of what it could be utilized for, all it's going to take is for one person. Imagine the power of a Mexican drug cartel that could operate in total anonymity worldwide. Whereas now everyone they always have to depend on the human factors. Somebody gets picked up, somebody says something else. Next thing you know, it's a massive investigation, people are dead, some people are arrested. The rest of us pay the price all the time. I mean, it's a beautiful, open, unmonitored world out there, and I want to keep it that way. But I don't really know what can be done to stop what I think is going to be coming. And what I want you guys to take away from this mostly is try and figure out ways we can mitigate this, what we could do. So the last thing we need is more restrictions on something that we all love. Not even to mention the financial cost alone. I mean, at the end of it all, I guess what it comes down to is that irritating 15-year-old kid that is always cut through your backyard. If he understood, did a little research on how to manipulate finances and direct and organize, nobody would know he was 15. He could be a digital Al Capone for all we know. So maybe next time he hops your fence, don't yell at him. Now, does anyone have any questions? Well, I'll leave you with one final thought. Manner of Jerry Springer. I've basically been looking at this from a focused, for-profit, illicit enterprises angle. But the exact same procedure could be used for militant hate groups, terrorist organizations. They already do somewhat communicating with stenography via web pages. But imagine if they took the concept of a splinter cell of organization and unified it to this degree with this type of technology available to operate total anonymity with total finance transfers. Imagine the damage that could be done to all of us. Thank you, guys.
Okay, I'm not going to use a mic. I think everyone can hear me. We're going to give you about an hour break until about 3:30 for the next talk. So if you guys have any questions for any of the speakers that have gone so far, you can check them out. They're around here, or you guys can just pass the notes or whatever.
Also, don't forget the silent option and feed my headers.
Feed some kids in Africa. Buy a shirt.
That's right.
Feed some
Feed.
No, I'm pretty sure he said
But that's not even the mayor on the book.
Is he still recording? There's no bids on the dildo.
Probably don't need recording.
There's no bids on the dildo. Yes.